I've decided to reveal my final Premier League predictions for the 2025-2026 Premier League season. Let's get into it. So obviously with game week 4 approaching, soon the international break out of the way, I thought, you know what, let me put my thoughts out there early and then lock it off, and then that's it. I'm locked in. It's only about the football. It's only about game after game, all of that stuff. And if anyone wants to come back and I guess, what I did predict for this season, yeah, here's the video. I mean, just remember that. Maybe bookmark this. Maybe I'll get it right. Maybe I'll get it wrong. Who knows? Maybe I'll be on the mark. Maybe I'll be way off. Who knows? But all I can do is give my prediction. At number 20, I'm starting with Burnley. Yeah, I won't lie. Yeah, Burnley are going straight back down. They're going straight back down. Like, I haven't been impressed with them since they've come up. Out of the championship teams that did come up, I feel like they're the worst prepared for the Premier League. I feel like their defence is horrible. I know that they did beat Sunderland, but I think that's a minor thing. Like, I think over the course of a 38-game season, Sunderland are going to outperform them by far. They haven't really brought anyone in that makes me go, you know what? Yeah, I can see you doing something. They've got a declining Kyle Walker that I think, if anything, may do worse for them than improve them, if that makes sense. And I just feel like they're going to go up against not even what you would call the traditional Big Six, but I feel like a lot of the mid-table teams, like the Brightons, the Palaces, the Bournemouths, and they'll just get absolutely smoked. I'm sorry, Burnley fans. I just can't see it. And I guess you're sitting there hoping that I'll be wrong. At 19, I've gone with Brentford. I won't lie to anybody. I've kind of been screaming this out from, I would say, a couple weeks prior to the Premier League starting, and it's only got worse. Yeah? They've lost Norgard, their captain. They've lost Visser. They've lost Mbumo. And to top it off, they've lost Thomas Frank, who was kind of holding everything together. Like, all of the good stuff that you've seen Brentford do during their period in the Premier League has been because of Thomas Frank. And I feel like Thomas Frank has left the most gaping hole at Brentford. And I feel like their start of the season has shown that. They haven't really replaced any of their big hitters. Don't get me wrong, they still got players like Mikel Damsgaard, who I think, he's got quality there and he will do some stuff. I know that they did bring in Kelleher, and I won't lie, Kelleher's probably looking at this whole scenario going, oh, maybe I should have stayed as number 2 at Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm sorry to lose 3 key players and to lose your manager and Keith Andrew. I'm sorry, man. Like, look, Keith, I'm not gonna lie to you, yeah. I don't think you're ready for the Prem. So I can't lie. With all of that kind of combined, I think they're a dead set to go down. I'm sorry, Brentford. I used to live near you as well, so I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but you're going down. At 18th, I've gone for Wolverhampton Wanderers, and this is probably where the biggest change is, because all up until now, my kind of dead set teams to go down was Burnley, Brentford, and West Ham. But for my final prediction, I think it's Wolves. I do think it is Wolves. Yeah, because these man are shockingly bad. Yeah. Not only are they shockingly bad, I think correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think they've won. I think they've lost all their games. Yeah, they've lost all their games. They lost all their games. They conceded 8 goals and they've only scored 2. They've got a goal difference already going into game week 4 of -6. I don't think that they really invested into the squad. I know that they brought in some players, but I ain't got a Scooby-Doo who any of them are. And don't get me wrong, from what is good in their squad, like the likes of Strand Larson, he could be an option for teams in January. Like, I'll be real, I personally think that Tottenham need a striker. So come January, they might just go, you know what, Strand Larsen, like, he's on a sinking ship. He did ask politely if he could leave and go to Newcastle in the summer. Maybe we go and grab him. And if that happens, then they're a dead set. Like, I know that they had like a kind of I don't know, re-energization, don't know if that's a word, towards the end of last season that kept him in the Prem. But I just think with the quality of the other teams in the league, how poorly they've started, I don't really know where they go from here. Losing Ait Nouri, I don't know, man. I'm sorry, Wolves fans. I feel like you've been in the Premier League for a while, and I feel like you've been surviving in the Premier League for a while. And if every season you're surviving, it probably is an indicator that at some point you're going to go down. So, hey, sorry people. Those are my relegation candidates for this season. Moving us on to 17th and surviving, just surviving, yeah? West Ham. I won't lie, West Ham, this season is looking dark for you. It's looking very dark. I know you just come off the back of beating Nottingham Forest 3-0 at their ground, but it's looking so amazingly dark for you, man. I would say the thing that made me made West Ham pick Wolves to stay in the Premier League is purely Bowen and Paqueta. Don't get me wrong, I think that youth brother that they brought in, he's looking like a nice little talent. Callum Wilson, I don't really rate the signing, but if they can keep him fit and he does get a good run of games, he will score goals. And that's a problem that I don't think West Ham will have, that I feel Wolves will have, is the scoring goals. Now, it's to be seen, but I think Potter may lose his job throughout the season. And then obviously, there's already been murmurs about Frank Lampard coming in. Now, if Frank Lampard comes to West Ham, I won't lie, I don't actually know if that's a better appointment than Potter. I don't know. But maybe him being like he came from the academy, you know, his family's got ties in West Ham. I think he's a West Ham lad. Maybe he can build that kind of, I don't know, connection with the fan base and maybe they'll feel alive again. But yeah, look, they lost Kudus, which I think is a massive loss. Massive. I know a lot of them don't really rate him off the back of last season, but to lose a player of that caliber, it's dark. But look, Sullivan, I feel like he's a big problem over there. Whoever comes in, or if Potter stays, I think going into January and even the next summer, they're gonna have to just accept that they're never gonna invest in the squad to kind of push forward. So maybe West Ham are just one of those teams that are gonna float between relegation and like 13th until maybe they get bought out by somebody else. But yeah, for me, just by the skin of their teeth, they make it at 17th. At 16th, I've gone with Fulham. Marco Silva is a good manager. Very, very, very good manager. And they don't get me, like Fulham, they got a lot of Hale End in there. Yeah? Just saying, they got a lot of Hale End in there. They got some good talent as well. Andreas Pereira, I think, is a very good talent. I personally think that they've got a good rotation for strikers, Muniz and Jimenez. I think that's a good rotation, especially to keep you in the Premier League. Defensively, they're pretty sound. I know Robinson's having injury issues, and those little niggles may make them struggle a bit. But as soon as he's back, runner games, defensively, I think they're cool. They've got... what is his name? It's gone. The centre midfielder, it's gone. I can't remember his name. What is his name? It's gone. I know he's the Nordic brother, Scandinavian, but it's gone. It's gone. You guys know who I'm talking about, and just post it in the chat because I know who it is. I just can't remember his name. But we've got good midfield, got good solid foundations. Obviously, I like the likes of Iwobi. I like the likes of Smith Rowe. Even though I don't think he's got the greatest end product, Adama Traore, he's always going to be a threat on that right-hand side. And then obviously to top it off, they ended up keeping Wilson in the end. So on the back of I think they made 2 signings on deadline day. One of them, Kenny, can't remember who the other guy is. And I just think Marco Silva will eventually just bring it together. The only issue that I see with Fulham is if Manchester United end up sacking their manager, he's defo one of the candidates that they're looking at. And if he decides to jump ship, it's only then, depending on who they bring in, that's when I start thinking, oh, maybe they fall a bit lower than 16th. Even though I got them 16th, I think they've got every opportunity of finishing anywhere between 10th and 16th. So I'm not trying to do Fulham any disrespect, but people have got, you got to go somewhere. You got to go somewhere. So moving on to 15th, and people might think that this is, how did they get above all of these other teams? But I'm going with Leeds United. What can I say? I'm a big fan, very, very big fan of Leeds. They play high energy football, so I feel like they're very suited to the Premier League. I feel like they'll win a lot of their games against the smaller to mid teams at Ellen Road. I can't foresee too many losses at Ellen Road, and I think that's something that will keep them up. I believe they've started the season with a win, a loss, and a draw. And that draw coming Newcastle. So already they've had a big team at Ellen Road and they've got points. And this is why I think they will stay in, because Ellen Road, I don't think a lot of people understand how difficult Ellen Road is to go to. And obviously they lost 5-0 to Arsenal, but that's at the Emirates and it can happen. Like, they'll probably go to Anfield, similar. Probably go to City's ground, similar. Probably go to Stamford Bridge, similar. Do you know what I mean? But at Ellen Road, I can see them picking up a lot of points to keep themselves in the Premier League. Obviously, the big question mark for Leeds is Daniel Farke. It's the big question mark. Yeah. Now, let's just say they go from now until January and it's looking very dark. What I would say is just sack him in January, bring in someone that can steady the ship, ensure that you stay there, even if it's on a temporary basis. And then in summer, you look at like, okay, do we bring in someone new or do we extend, this interim manager? But I don't think Farke will be as bad as what a lot of people say. A lot of people make the comment, they try to draw from what happened at Norwich, but people don't understand that Norwich, like, he wasn't backed. He will be backed at Leeds. And I know they missed out on Wilson on deadline day, but come January, Leeds are one of the teams that I expect to invest in the squad. So, got a young team, they've got some bright talents in there, and I think they'll be able to stay in the Premier League. So, 14th, the final promoted side. I'm going with Sunderland. Yeah? Sunderland have a very young squad that's showing a lot of promise. I think out of all of the teams that got promoted, they actually invested the most into their team. They've brought in a lot of new faces. They've kind of done something similar to Nottingham Forest, where they signed a lot of players, obviously for different reasons, but they've signed a lot of players. And I won't lie, I'm looking at the likes of Adingra, because Adingra, he's a very good right winger. I personally, I said it earlier in the window and I'll say it again now, I would have taken him as backup to Saka. Do you know what I mean? Highly energetic, highly tricky, good on his feet. He's got a good eye for goal as well. They've made some good signings, some very good signings. And the thing for me, yeah, and people say that maybe this is Arsenal bias, but the thing for me that I think keeps them in the Premier League, and I think it was an amazing piece of business from Sunderland, yeah, is signing Granit Xhaka. Because he will bring that leadership. He will bring that know-how. And I know people are going to laugh, he didn't win the Premier League, but he was with Arsenal and he did pretty well with Arsenal. So as long as they use him correctly, people don't understand as well. When he went to Bayer Leverkusen, it was his leadership that kind of pushed them on. Like, he was putting in and around a lot of young players. And he was like, get me the Vertses and the Frimpongs. Them man was looking at Xhaka as like the leader. He's got the captain's armband at Sunderland, and look, Sunderland have started well. Again, I know they lost to Burnley, but outside of that, done pretty well. And I think that, again, people don't realise, yeah? People don't realise. Going to Sunderland's ground, yeah? Stadium Light, it's not a joke. It's not a joke, So again, I think that they'll secure a lot of points at their home ground. Going away is where I think it's a bit spooky, but I feel like they're probably the best team to go away to other teams to secure wins, if that makes sense. I think they'll probably secure more wins away from home, or maybe it's better to say secure more points away from home than Leeds or Burnley. So now at 13th, this is where I think the first super shock is gonna be. Yeah, I've gone with Manchester United. I can't lie, I've gone with Manchester United. I just don't rate their manager. I just really don't rate Amorim. I was thinking about it and I was like, you know what? Do you know what's the difference here? Amorim's the difference. So look, if they sack Amorim and they bring in someone else, then I'll be like, okay, cool. I think they'll be higher up. Not too much higher up, but I think they'll be finish higher up. But he's so bad. I can't believe these man went to Grimsby and didn't progress. Like, Manchester United are in a dark place. They wasn't able to go out and get the midfielder that I felt like they needed. Yeah, they signed that, what's his name? Lamens, or his name is the keeper. I don't care. Because they like to say that their problem is their keeper, but it's way more than that. Like, I think it's more of a systemic issue than just, the keeper. Like, do you know what I mean? I feel like they use too many scapegoats over them sides. I don't know about this setup that he does. I don't know about this 3-4-3. It doesn't suit United. Like, United's not a team where it's like, structured and focused on defense. It's like United's a team where, or historically has been a team where, we just go and buy the best and just play the best together and we win games. And we just win things. Like, we rely on individual brilliance. And now I'm looking across their squad and I'm like, where's the real individual brilliance? Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I think Cunha's a good signing, but is Cunha the level of a Manchester United player of the past? Don't think so. Mbumo, again, I think Mbumo's cold. Just like Cunha, but is he a Manchester United player? Like, you know what I mean? Like, these men used to have Ronaldo and, you get me, Beckham and do you know what I mean? I'm like, Ibrahimovic has been there, like, brother, Cantona, like, bro, Scholes, like, bro, these men had Mbumo, Seshko, I don't know. I'm just saying I don't know. Yeah. And look, I feel like everyone that I've put above them will most likely finish above them. There's only one team that I put above them that is a bit shaky, and when I get to them, I'll explain. But, well, I won't explain, but you'll kind of understand through how I talk about it. But yeah, I don't know. I just think Manchester United are crap. Like, they got no European football. They're celebrating at Burnley like they won the Champions League, beating them. Shameful. I think it was like some stupid scoreline, like 1-0 as well. I'm just thinking, brother, you men are dirty. So yeah, I don't know. I got them at 13th, but hey, if you think I've gone mad with that, let me know in the comments below. I know Manchester United fans are probably locked off the video already, but if you haven't and you're a neutral, just let me know what you think. At 12th, I've gone with Bournemouth. So now Bournemouth, Bournemouth, they got beat up. Their whole back line pretty much got beat up. They lost Kerkez, they lost Zabani, Howson went to Real Madrid, and then obviously a lot of the good from their last season was Kepa. Kepa's gone to my club, back up. You know what I mean? And then obviously they brought in that guy from Chelsea. I can't remember his name. Keeper from Chelsea. I can't remember his name. That's looked abysmal. I can't lie, he's looked abysmal. But maybe he'll improve as the season goes on. They managed to keep hold of Semenyo though. This is why I'm keeping them around 12. There's a few reasons why I'm keeping them around 12. I like Evan Nilsson. I think Evan Nilsson will get into double-digit goals in the Prem. I like Semenyo is an absolute beast. And they've still got Justin Kluivert. Yeah? Now, to top all of that off, I think that Andoni Iraola, is what bridges the gap. So again, the only time that changes is if Manchester United sack their manager and then Andoni Iraola, he goes over to Manchester United. Because then it's like, okay, I don't really know who's Bournemouth's manager now. Because the manager is playing a big part, like his system, the way he plays, all of that, the way he sets up the team, like the belief that the squad have in him. And truth be told, like Bournemouth, they've been a pretty consistent finisher in and around this area. I don't see no reason why they don't go and do that again. So yeah, it's going to be a tricky season for Bournemouth. But look, they went to White Hart Lane and they managed to keep a clean sheet and win the game. So I don't know, they've started off the season well. They don't really concede to. I know they lost 4-2 to Liverpool, but that's like an outlier, innit? Do you know what I mean? It's Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? Liverpool are known for scoring goals. So, look, I got them at 12. But I do feel like they can finish anywhere from 8th to 12th. I'll give them that. Now, at 11th, I've gone with Crystal Palace. Obviously, they lost Eberechi Eze. Big loss for them. However, they brought in Yeremy Pino, who I think is a baller, and he's immediately shown that he's going to slot right into whatever Glasner's doing. And I'm not going to say they're not going to miss Eza, but they're not going to miss him as much as if they didn't go and sign Yeremy Pino. Now, I also think it was very big for them, very, very big for them to keep hold of Gahey. Yeah, be it as it may, he might leave in January, but I feel by then they would have collected enough points that they can go into the market and just bring in another defender that can kind of steady the ship, you know, keep things calm, cool at the back. And then I think they'll just carry on and probably finish in and around 11th. Again, I feel like they're a team that can finish anywhere from like 8th to like 13th, 14th. But they're always kind of in and around that area anyway. Obviously, they got the Conference League this season, which I don't think will pose their squad too much problems, like coming into the Conference League. Like we all saw, pretty much Chelsea just bad that whole thing up. I do think that Crystal Palace will do the same. Obviously, they got Ismail Essar, really good winger, really good player. They've got kind of like Jean-Claude up top, up top. So unless someone in January comes and goes, you know what, we need maybe a Tottenham, we need a striker, maybe go for Mateta, Man United, maybe we go grab Mateta because Sesko's not really doing it at the moment, we need someone that can just bang goals now, then maybe. But I think the players they've got coming off the high of winning the Community Shield and the FA Cup, like, I think they'll be cool this season. I won't lie to anyone. Then at 10th, I've gone with Brighton and Hove Albion. By the way, people, we're halfway through. So let me know what you think so far about my predictions for the season. The reason why I put them 10th is because I think, not only did they have a lot of young talent, not only are they tactically flexible, they kind of just finish in and around this place anyway. They got a big scalp in their last game. They beat Man City. By the way, that second goal was cold. Like, so they're ballers. And Hertzler, I think as the season goes on, like last season, we'll see a bit of burnout. I definitely think we'll see a bit of burnout. But look, they managed to hold on to the likes of Baleba. They've still got the likes of Matoma there. Ruta. Is that his name? Ruta? I think that's his name. Jorginho Ruta. I think that's his name. He's a baller. Can't lie. They've got... Do you know what, Brighton have a lot of players that you wouldn't really know who they are. But whenever you watch them play, they can always play football. It's crazy. They can always play football. So, I don't know. Like, I feel like being middle of the table is a good, respectable place for them. However, I do think that they can finish higher. I also, on the flip side, think they can finish lower. But usually a team that punches above their weight. And it will be interesting to see how this season goes for them. I'll be very interested to see how this season goes for them. But I think it's going to be another positive season for Brighton. Obviously, a very well-run club in terms of generating money. They always seem to find talents. I wouldn't put it past them in January, finding another talent that nobody knew about. 9th, I've gone with Aston Villa. Yeah. I won't lie, these men are shit. These men are so shit. I think the Emery... Come on, telling me about Emery this, Emery this, done. It's finished. Like, they're in Europa League as well, so we all know that he's going to prioritise that. We know. But these men haven't scored a goal yet. They lost Jacob Ramsey, who I think is one of the better impact midfielders there is. What a great option to bring on. They had that kind of awkward Martinez saying goodbye and then he's still there. Obviously, they kind of underperformed last season. And I just keep on telling people, like, Emery, he's not good at multitasking. And because we know he's going to prioritise the Europa League, they're going to suffer. They're gonna suffer in the Premier League. And what, do they think bringing in Jadon Sancho gonna change anything? But it's been now 2 windows where maybe he's not pushing for the move, but I feel like Watkins wants to leave. I don't know, man. Like, maybe it's my bias, but I just don't rate Emery like that, man. I don't like him as a manager, man. I'll be so real. And I think the way that they've started with no goals, a draw and 2 losses, you don't want to have that kind of record at game week 3. Do you know what I mean? Like, and no, Aston Villa are in the relegation zone at the moment. The only team that has a worse record at the start of the season is Wolves. And I think that says a lot. So, look, they got a lot of climbing to do. Now, don't get me wrong, I think they can build up a good run of games. But again, it's like Emery always does things that just, why are you doing that? Why? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know, man. But I also, do you know, if Manchester United were gonna swap with anyone, it's probably them. I just think that the Ruben, like, it's that much of a muchness. Who's worse, Ruben Amorim or do you know what? I'm going mad. I know you might not gonna like that one. I just don't like him, but I know you might not gonna like that one. At 8th, I've got Nottingham Forest. Now, Nottingham Forest, I think they can finish higher. The reason why I've got Nottingham Forest at 8th is because of there's a lot of background stuff happening. Nuno beefing Edu. Nuno and Edu not wanting the same players. Nuno calling out Marinakis in, we used to talk all the time, we don't talk anymore, you get me? Marinakis doing the Buki thing with Morgan Gibbs White. Like, he just looks like Kingpin at the moment. He just looks all mad over there. And I feel like that backroom stuff, it could affect the on-field play. I mean, losing at home 3-0 to West Ham is diabolical. But to me, they're one of the most sound teams defensively. Searles, wicked goalkeeper. Milenkovic and Murillo, probably top 5 centre-back partnerships in the Prem. Aina, great. Do you know what I mean? Their midfield is pretty strong. Pretty strong. Obviously, they got Chris Wood up top. One of the top goal scorers last season. They're going to score goals. And the thing about Nottingham Forest that I think will get them to 8th, and they might even be able to push a bit higher, yeah, is they've actually got really good squad depth. They got the likes of McAtee, the likes of Douglas Luiz, all that can come off the bench. Calimuendo. They've got loads of players. Like, they can, Igor Jesus, like, they can actually switch it up. They can actually give a lot of their players rest and try different things going to the Europa League and then going back into the Prem. So I don't think that them playing in Europe will affect them too much because I feel like they got a squad that's big enough to cover that. The only question mark for Nottingham Forest, is, does Nuno stay? Does Nuno go? Well, I guess there's more than one question mark. Has Nuno hit his ceiling? That's one. Does Nuno stay? Does Nuno go? That's 2. And if Nuno does go, who comes in? And whoever that is that comes in, do they hit the ground running or do they go the other way? But hey, I've got them having a good season. They're actually my favourites to win the Europa League as well. 7th, potentially one of my biggest hot takes, but I'm riding with them this season, yeah? Everton. Everything's going positive for them at the moment. The new stadium, yeah? Started off the season wicked. I know they lost to Leeds, but after that, badded up things. Brought in Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish looking like Villa Grealish again. Playing with freedom. Just a good feeling over there. David Moyes. Got them playing. I got them playing. Njai. Baller. Branthwaite. Real good. Promising English defender. That Jacob, is it Jacob O'Brien? Yeah. You got Pickford. I don't like Pickford, but a lot of people do. That's what I'm going to say. I don't like Pickford, but a lot of people do. They brought in that is this Thierry Barry? So like, look, they're a team that, you know, Moyes, he will set you up good defensively, but he's got a lot of outlets to score you goals. And look, if Grealish has a wicked season, I like that Garner brother as well, James Garner. I like their team, man. I'm backing them. I want the Blues to take over Merseyside, man. Just take them over, man. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I can't lie, I'm backing them. I am backing them. I am backing them. I won't lie. I've liked what I've seen from them so far this season. So look, going on to 6th, I've gone with Newcastle. And do you know what? As much as I feel like the Isak will affect them, I won't lie. Bringing in that Walt Maida guy and Visser, I feel like they've covered the goals. I feel like they've covered the output. Yeah? Newcastle United are one of the teams that I feel like come the end of the season, if you was to put up like all the teams, they would be very high on the list for points that they've won at their own ground. Like St. James's Park is a fortress. I know Liverpool beat them there, but let's be real, 10 men, all of that. Isak Derby, it was crazy. Bare politics. I feel like the occasion was being played and not the game. I feel like if Newcastle played the game, it would have been different. Eddie Howe, very good at getting the best out of players. So I feel like Visser and Voltermaid, however you say his name, I feel like they'll go to a really good level. Obviously, they got Gordon, one of the best wingers in the league. Look what he did with Murphy last season. Do you know what I'm saying? They got Livermento and Hall. I think are really good, really good fullbacks. They got Dan Burn, who again, like I say, like the Eddie Howe just get best out of players because he's been amazing. They got Botman. If they can keep Botman fit, I think he's one of the best defenders in the league. Ramsdale, I don't know about that one, but hey, he's got the experience. I'd just be careful, Newcastle, because the only team he hasn't been relegated with is Arsenal. But I feel like you're too good to get relegated, so I don't think you need to worry about that. And then finally, I just genuinely feel like Newcastle have one of the best midfields. It doesn't get much better than a pivot of Bruno and Tonali. It doesn't get better than that. And then obviously they got Mr. UFC, Joe Linton, in front of them. Do you know what I mean? That midfield doesn't lose too many battles. Number 5th, yeah? Now, people, hear me out. I know you're going to go mad, but I've got Manchester City. Dun, dun, dun. Alright. So look, yeah, this Aït-Nouri thing is not going to work, yeah? Their defence has just been made worse. Their defence is dead. That's their biggest area of weakness is their defence, yeah? Now, I know people say they've gone and signed Donnarumma, wicked keeper. But what is he not good at? The ball at his feet. What has pretty much Pep's whole philosophy been on goalkeepers from the jump? Play the ball out from the back. I don't even know what happens now. It's looking all clumsy. It is looking all clumsy. John Stones, I think he's out again. Cherky, the baller that they brought in, he's gone for 2 months. Well, so I say something like 2 months. I don't know. Foden is out injured again. Like, obviously, he's coming back. Rodri being back is but he's coming back from a long time out. He had a little setback as well. How many issues is he going to have throughout the season? You can't really use him that much. Kovacic is out. I don't know, man. It just doesn't feel right over there at the moment. I don't know. It doesn't feel right, man. But the Savio's out. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. Like, Marmouche is there, and it's like I still don't know about that Marmouche, because like for me it's like, all right, who gets the goals, Marmouche or Hart? It's too confused. Like everything over there just seems muddled up. Then you got Doku just doing everything but end product. I don't know. It's just Manchester City right now for me. It's just mad confusing, and I think 5th. You may think it's mad, but if you look at it from the other angle, with everything they got going on at the moment. They just lost to Spurs 2-0. Just lost to Brighton 2-1. They're both 3 games in. They've lost 2 games. And the only team that they beat, they batted up Wolves, but they're the only team in the league that have not won a game this season. I'm saying I don't know. So all I'm saying, like, Pep is Pep. So he'll figure it out. If he doesn't figure it out, they'll spend more money in January. And the bank will figure it out for them. I don't know. Manchester City fans, let me know what you think in the comments below. I mean this so respectfully. Yeah? I just don't know. So at number 4, and it pains me to say this, but I've gone with Tottenham Hotspur. I won't lie. Last season, I think they had some crazy stat. Like the games that they lost, they only ever lost by, I think it was 1 goal. Well, the majority of them lost by 1 goal. That 1 goal difference, Thomas Frank rubs that out. Thomas Frank is a massive game changer. Going from Ange Postecoglou, who like highline for life and all them things there, and everybody always bombing down the field. Thomas Frank, you don't use fullbacks in that way. Their team is going to conserve so much energy across the season that it will allow them to push to higher heights. He'll have them set up defensively sound. Again, they've only conceded 1 goal to Bournemouth. That's the only game they lost. They've won 2, like Arsenal, 1-2, lost 1, and that loss was 1-0. It was against Bournemouth. Bournemouth is a good side. Obviously, they've brought in Shimmons now, Paulinho. Their midfield is better now. The midfield's just better now. They've got that creative spark. Obviously, they've got a lot of injuries, and when the injuries come back for the back end of the season, it'll be like a new lease of life. I do think that they still need a striker. But hey, Brennan Johnson, he gets a lot of goals for them. Kudus coming in. Ooh, boy. And he's looked good so far. I feel like Thomas Frank is going to have Kudus operating to a similar level to what he had Mbumo operating to at Brentford. And I won't lie, that's scary. So because I think they're going to be so much more mature this season, so much more structured, so much more difficult to beat. Only thing about them is the depth of their squad. Like, a lot of their players are going to be playing a lot of games. That's the only thing I'll say with the Champions League. That's the only thing I'll say. So, at third, I've got Chelsea. Need I say anything? Like, literally, these man just invested again, and they're looking to... I think that their squad depth... So this is the thing. They have good squad depth in the sense that in every position, they've got multiple players. The only thing is, when they bring those players on, I still think the drop-off from their first team is a bit too mad to push any higher than third in the league. Sorry, Chel. I mean that in such a good way as well. Obviously, the likes of Pedro coming in, he started off amazingly. Esteval started off amazingly. I'm not too sure about this. I'm not the question marks for me is their left wing. Like, if they play Pedro there, then it's like cool. But then when it gets to Gittins and Garnacho and... Do you know what I mean? I just don't know. Obviously, Cole Palmer, he'll be coming back. So Palmer in the 10 with Pedro up top. I think they're going to be some real good combinations there. And I just think they have a well-balanced team. Another big concern I have is their centre-backs. Because Levi Cole going out is a big miss. I think Fofana's out as well. Chelsea fan, correct me if I'm wrong. I think Fofana's out as well. And I would have gone into this season thinking that, you know what, Fofana and Colwell was going to be their first choice mid centre-backs. And with that, I feel like they're virtually complete. Don't get me wrong, Chalobah, he's been real good since he come back from the loan spell at Crystal Palace last season. Sanchez, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. You know what I mean? He's been decent so far. I think he was very good at the Club World Cup, but I still think it's a weakness. Now, if they went and got Mike Maignan or Donnarumma, then I would have been like, oh, okay, it's a bit mad. But I still think he will be... I don't think he'll have as many mistakes as last season, but I think he'll have mistakes in games that you really don't want him to have those mistakes. So yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. Obviously, Chelsea now in the Champions League, so they can't do the thing they did last season, where for the majority... They played different teams in the Conference League to the league. They can't do that no more. Their players are going to have to play sometimes 2-3 games a week. So we'll see how they fare. But I'm positive Chelsea will, I think they're a guarantee for at least top 4. Minimum. Guarantee. Maybe they can push a bit higher than third. Maybe they finish 4th. But who knows? I've been thinking a lot about this, yeah? And before I tell you who's second, I need you lot to understand that it was very close. It was very close. I would say so close that it can go either way. Yeah? But I have gone with second place Liverpool. And for a few reasons. Yeah? The first reason. I feel like everyone saying Liverpool will win the league is just way too cliche. And I don't even really feel like they're really diving into any sort of analysis on it. I just feel like they're going, oh yeah, they won last season, so did they be the favourites again this season? And oh, they signed Isak, and oh, they signed Wirtz, and oh, yeah, all of that. All of that. That's what people are doing, all of that stuff. But for me, it's still a big, I'm not so sure on certain things. Yeah, like for example, yeah, you got Ekitike. Cool. Yeah, you got Isak. Cool. Cody Hakpo's playing really well. So will he be sacrificed on the left? I don't think so. So, cool, you start Isak. Or you start Ekitike. If they get locked out of a game, they're too similar of a profile. So when the other one comes on, the defenders they're pretty much the six is like, well, I just do the same thing and it's calm. Especially if Isak starts first and they lock out Isak, because Isak's actually better than Ekitike. Even though Ekitike started off the season really well. Cool. For me, defensively, shaky. Very shaky. Of course, against Arsenal, they don't concede goals because against Arsenal, Kanate and Van Dijk want to go Super Saiyan. You know, everybody wants to go Super Saiyan against Arsenal, but they're not playing Arsenal every week. So the teams that they know they don't respect as highly as Arsenal, they won't go Super Saiyan, and they'll concede. Look, they concede up until that point. They conceded 6 goals in their previous 3 games: 2 against Palace in the Community Shield, 2 against Bournemouth, and then 2 against Newcastle. So I don't know. I just think it's cliche, and I still think, yeah, if like for whatever reason Van Dijk can't play, it's mad. The drop off is too mad. I know they gassed off this Leone brother, but it's too from Van Dijk to Leone. Bro, what are we doing? Let's not do this, man. Let's not. Van Dijk's the best centre back in the league. Let's not do this, man. And then I don't know. Salah looks a bit off it. He does look a bit off it at the moment, but he'll probably get round to it. And there's going to be teething problems when Isak comes. Obviously, he's going to score a lot of goals, but there's going to be teething problems. And I don't know. For me, Arne Slot is a massive factor. And I think like he can get something done. He's a massive, massive factor. But I don't know. I don't know enough yet. And I don't want to do the cliche thing. And you know what? Like I just want to back my club. Do you know what I mean? I just want to back my club in it. And I just feel like now going on to first, I've got Arsenal, and I guess this is the real reason why. So this is where Liverpool beats Arsenal mainly, because there's a few areas where like I think their first 11 is better, provided everyone's fit, and they have the better manager. Yeah. But the difference to me is when you start diving a bit deeper into the squad. Like I feel like Arsenal got the stronger squad. I feel like Arsenal got the more balanced squad. I feel like in a lot of areas around the pitch, especially in defence, if one of their players goes out and swaps, it's a lot worse than one of our players going out for the swap. A lot worse. The biggest question mark for me, though, is the manager. It's Mikel Arteta. And I saw it against Liverpool. And yeah, Liverpool at Anfield is a very hard game, but there's decisions that you're going to have to make throughout this season that will pretty much decide where you finish. So I need to see that improve. I really need to see that improve. But there's a lot of... Like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Arteta's not a good coach. Like, the only thing that's got to happen now is just got to get it over the line. That's the only thing he's got to do, is get it over the line. So yeah, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to back Arsenal as a whole to get it over the line. That's what I'm going to do. I still do think that Liverpool can win it. Do you know what the thing is? I feel like anyone in the top 6 can win it, bar Tottenham. Because I'm just not allowed. I just need to make that very clear. Bar Tottenham, yeah? But, for example, I think Liverpool can win it. I think Arsenal can win it. I think Chelsea can win it. At a stretch, I feel like Manchester City or Newcastle could win it. Heck, we might all get blown away and it could be a Leicester season. And Everton could run a Leicester season. Who knows? It's the Premier League. You never know. But you know what? I've decided I'm going to back my club. I'm going to back my boys. I'm going to back my team. I'm going to back all the staff. Do you get me? I need Arteta to start raising the levels again. But I feel like we'll compete on all fronts. So yeah, that's basically my predictions for this season. Let me know whether you agree, disagree, all of that stuff. Leave your predictions in the comments. Let's get the predictions going. Like, leave your predictions. I want to see your predictions. You know, a lot of you people out there actually pop off, chat to man on streams and follow man and chat to man on socials and that. So yeah, I want to see it all in the comments, man. Let me know your thoughts, your feelings. Let me know what you think was my hottest take this video. And don't say Arsenal winning the league, because it's not a hot take. Don't do that. It's a bit mad. And yeah, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, I'll catch you next time.